Have you ever heard someone insist that we only use 10% of our brains, or that Vikings stormed into battle wearing horned helmets? These facts are so ingrained in popular culture that most of us never stop to question them. But what if I told you that these widespread beliefs are entirely false, fabricated myths that have taken on a life of their own? Today, we're debunking 5 completely false facts everyone still believes. It's time to rethink everything because reality is often stranger and far more interesting than fiction. First up, we only use 10% of our brains. This myth has fueled countless self-help seminars and even Hollywood blockbusters, which imagine unlocking the other 90% for superhuman abilities. In truth, brain imaging shows activity coursing through virtually every region of our brains, even during simple tasks or rest. Neurons may not all fire simultaneously, but they each have roles: processing sensory input, managing movement, regulating emotion, and more. The 10% claim likely emerged from a misinterpretation of early neurological research, but it has persisted despite overwhelming scientific evidence to the contrary. Myths, it seems, aren't limited to science. They've shaped how we imagine history, too. The classic Viking look often includes a horned helmet. But should it? Thanks to opera costumes and romanticized 19th century art, we envision horn-adorned Norsemen charging into battle. Archaeology and contemporary accounts, however, reveal no evidence that Viking warriors ever wore horned helmets. Such impractical adornments would have hindered combat and served no functional purpose. Instead, Vikings likely wore simple iron or leather caps. Horned headgear was a later artistic flourish, not historical reality. Next, let's plunge from the battlefield to the aquarium. Goldfish are often unfairly labeled as forgetful, 3-second thinkers. The idea that goldfish can only remember for 3 seconds has become shorthand for forgetfulness, but scientific studies show that goldfish can learn tasks, navigate mazes, and even remember feeding times for months. They can be trained to distinguish between shapes, colors, and sounds, evidence of cognitive abilities far beyond a mere 3-second window. This myth likely arose from underestimating these aquatic pets, but the truth is that goldfish are far more capable than their reputation suggests. Speaking of underestimated forces, let's turn our attention to one of nature's most powerful and misunderstood phenomena: lightning. One of the most well-known weather myths claims that lightning never strikes the same place twice. The old saying has been passed down like ancient weather wisdom, but it's scientifically inaccurate. Lightning not only can strike the same place twice, it often does. In fact, tall, pointed, or isolated structures are lightning magnets. Take the Empire State Building, for instance. It gets zapped around 20 to 25 times every year. Lightning is a natural electrical discharge that follows the path of least resistance. So if that path is a skyscraper, tree, or even the same unlucky patch of ground, nature doesn't mind repeating itself. The phrase probably became popular as a metaphor for rare events, but in the real world of thunderstorms and physics, lightning loves a familiar target. From the sky to the sea, myths can spread just as fast as lightning. One of the most enduring beachside myths is that urine helps treat jellyfish stings. It's the myth that just won't die, popularized by movies, TV shows, and panicked vacationers. But if you're stung by a jellyfish, urine isn't the magical antidote you've been led to believe. In fact, peeing on the sting can actually worsen the pain by triggering more venom released from the stinging cells. The most effective first aid? Rinse the area with vinegar to neutralize the stingers, or use salt water if vinegar isn't available. Fresh water can also cause more stingers to fire, so it's best avoided. As unpleasant as a jellyfish sting can be, your best bet is to skip the golden remedy and stick to science-backed methods instead. Your skin and dignity will thank you. These myths about our brains, Viking warriors, goldfish, lightning, and jellyfish reveal how easily misinformation can become common knowledge. By examining the evidence and tracing the origins of these beliefs, we not only correct the record, but we also sharpen our critical thinking skills. In a world full of claims and catchy headlines, a curious mind is your best defense. Thanks for coming along on this myth-busting journey. Until next time, stay curious and never stop exploring the facts.